In this video, we're going to be talking about some of the darkest Marvel and DC storylines. Some, if not most of these stories may be out of the current canon, and some of them might be from alternate universes. There is no particular order for these stories, but they will contain sensitive material not suitable for children. So be warned. In 2017, X-Men fans went to see Logan, expecting a retelling of the classic story, Old Man Logan. However, what they got was something completely different. The film was definitely good in its own right, however, it left out some of the darkest material that Marvel has ever put to page. In the original Old Man Logan storyline, all but a few of the Marvel superheroes are gone. Superheroes in the Marvel Universe had been systematically exterminated by the Red Skull and other supervillains. The world had been broken up into many different city-states, each assigned to a governor by the Red Skull. He had a personal museum filled with different artifacts of different fallen heroes. And yeah, that can be pretty dark, considering it's now a world with basically no more heroes.
It can't get worse, right? It can and it will, and here it is.
But where it gets really dark is when we involve the Hulk. Now, the Hulk and Wolverine have always had a bit of a rivalry, going all the way back to Wolverine's first appearance in, it's disputed, but either Hulk 181 or technically 180. Personally, I'm on the 180 train. Let me know if you agree down below. In this storyline, Bruce Banner forcibly has children with She-Hulk, Jennifer Walters, his cousin, because he knows that she is the only one that would actually be able to survive his gamma radiation, and that is absolutely disgusting. Their inbred children end up becoming the Hulk Gang, which Bruce is the de facto leader of, and they terrorize local townspeople, including Wolverine and his family, which, unfortunately, they end up murdering his wife, daughter, and son. And that's the inciting incident of this story. This version of the Hulk is a far cry from what we've gotten in the MCU. And honestly, I couldn't imagine going to theaters expecting to see shy Mark Ruffalo Bruce Banner, who is occasionally turning into the still angry, yet moderately tame, friendly green monster.
Oh, hi, Mark.
And instead we end up seeing a murderous, incestuous cannibal. Yeah, I don't think that would really fly, and I'm completely happy with what we ended up getting. It's okay to leave that Hulk in the past. The death of Captain Jean DeWolf. This storyline from Spectacular Spider-Man, coming from the year 1985, is one of the most grounded and dark storylines that Marvel has produced. It starts off with the death of police captain Jean DeWolf, who was a friend of both Spider-Man and Peter Parker. The storyline involves investigating the murder, with Detective Stan Carter taking charge, working directly with Spider-Man. It turns out that the person who killed Jean DeWolf was actually a new villain named Sin Eater. However, this wasn't a supervillain like Green Goblin, Doc Ock, or somebody with other powers like Lizard or Hydro Man. The person committing all of these atrocities was just a normal guy. No powers, just a lunatic with a gun, which makes it, honestly, one of the most terrifying Spider-Man stories, because it's just a guy. It could be anyone. Like someone you could just see walking down the street. Looks completely normal. It removes the veneer of a fantastical world and something that could never happen to you or me, and hits us with the cold reality that even superheroes have to deal with the same violence that we do on a daily basis. Sin Eater goes on to take out a judge who works very closely with Daredevil, as well as an innocent bystander in a crowd. And all of this happens while Spider-Man is powerless to stop it because he's too focused on trying to uncover Sin Eater's identity. And I won't spoil it now because honestly this storyline is just insane. But the fact that a person close to Spider-Man was taken out, and it wasn't done by one of his arch nemesis, nor someone with superpowers, just makes it that much more terrifying. I'm actually going to link to a video now that goes into much more detail than I'd be able to give in this video. It goes into the entire story arc, and it's done by a new YouTube channel, The Radioactive Spider Bro. So do yourself a favor and watch this video, as it really does help go into further depth over the entire storyline. Feel free to watch that video and subscribe to that channel as well. He just started, and honestly, I think it would be a nice surprise if we can give him some help and get started, because honestly, he can do amazing work. I don't think this next one really needs an introduction, but I'll give it one anyway. and is one of the most iconic Batman storylines of all time. It was a one-off, and it's The Killing Joke. Now, The Killing Joke is an amazing book that explains the origin of the Joker through an unreliable narrator. He starts off with a failing comic, having the only light in his life be his pregnant wife. However, things take a turn, and he ends up getting involved with the mob, just as a henchman, basically trying to get enough money to get by. But it takes a really dark turn when his pregnant wife passes, and he ends up getting thrown in that vat of acid at Ace Chemicals that stained his skin white. That's just a small portion of the story. The rest of the story shows how one bad day can break even the strongest of spirits. And the Joker goes about doing this by shooting Barbara Gordon in the stomach and paralyzing her, and turning her and future versions of the character into Oracle. The Joker undresses her, takes multiple nude photographs of her, then attacks her father, Commissioner Gordon, kidnaps him, beats him, forces him to see what he's done to his daughter. Not only will this have a lasting impact on one of the most iconic members of the Bat family, it also showed the true extent that the Joker is willing to go in order to send a message. And we don't really need to talk about the animated version of The Killing Joke because that's not that good. They made some really weird additions in that really took me out of the story. I mean, how weird is it that they added a prologue where Batgirl and Batman hook up? I mean, for God's sakes, that's like his best friend's daughter, and somebody who he watched since she was a child. That's freaking gross.
You did not have to do that. You knew you did not have to do that. How could you have done that? Can you live with yourself?
This one might almost be as messed up as our last entry, and honestly, I don't know what the hell was going on with DC at the time, but they took the character Kyle Rayner, the Green Lantern, gave him a girlfriend, just killed her off. Brutally. I mean, they have her get dismembered off screen and stuffed into a fridge. I mean, this one's more of just a body horror thing than anything actually disturbing. And looking back on it now, it just feels more edgy than anything, trying to introduce a character just to kill them off screen, almost as if they were just a plot device all along. Which is kind of sad if you think about it. I mean, if they wanted an actual impact, they could have had a named character, somebody who was actually, relevant to DC history. But instead, they just introduced somebody just to kill them off. No real impact. I mean, that's kind of lazy if you ask me. I mean, realistically, it would have had a lot more impact if it was a major character. But they just can't go ahead and kill off one of their most popular characters, so this is what we got. And finally, we have the death of Wasp from the Ultimate Universe. This one is particularly disturbing because she was killed and eaten by the Blob. This guy from X-Men Origins Wolverine. The imagery is grotesque. The thought of one of the founding members of the Avengers being eaten by a member of the Brotherhood of Evil Mutants is just disturbing, and this really goes to show you that comic books are no longer just for children. They are filled with adult themes and imagery that can really leave a lasting impact on the reader, and a disturbing one at that. And obviously, this isn't the first time that Marvel's gone very dark with their storylines. There are many other instances of this. For example, Marcus Immortus, son of a version of Kang the Conqueror, was trapped in limbo, unable to return to Earth, and his plan to escape his eternal purgatory? Kidnap Carol Danvers. Yeah, Miss Marvel. Before she got the promotion to captain. Controlled her mind to make her think that she loved him, and forced himself onto her, impregnating her in the process. Ugh. But the craziest part is that when she returns to Earth, she finds out she's pregnant, she gestates rapidly, and gives birth. The baby then ages incredibly fast into the full-grown adult version of the guy that knocked her up in the first place. Good God, what is wrong with Marvel? And just so you know, this comic book came out 43 years ago. Marvel has been doing dark stuff for quite a while. Obviously, there are even darker comics out there, like Marvel's Max series, which, in their Alias line, they introduced Jessica Jones out of her original costume and in as the detective that we know from the Netflix TV series. And it shows her first interaction with Luke Cage, which is graphic to say the least. And of course, there are books that aren't Marvel or DC, like The Boys, which, in some aspects, is even more disgusting and dark than the show. which, side note, I'm not hating on the show. It's amazing, and I love it. What are some of your favorite dark comic book storylines or moments? I'm sure I may have left out someone's favorite, and that's not on purpose. This video can't go on forever, and every comic book moment is somebody's favorite. And that's absolutely okay. I wouldn't have time to cover all of them, so just let me know your favorite down below in the comments. If you enjoyed this video, go ahead and leave a like and subscribe for more, as it really does help the channel. New videos are released every Saturday at 6 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, so be here to check them out. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you have a great day, and as always, I'll catch you in the next one.